Taurus, welcome to your reading for the week of January 9 to the 15th. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for your week ahead. Now keep in mind these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone, so make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages there as well. Give you the full picture. Okay, my friends, let's get started. What is the energy around the week ahead for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising? What is the energy around the week ahead for Taurus? Oh, we see leg up, truth be told. Okay. And fork in the road. Okay. So, this appears that you are getting some support here. That will lead you to understand the truth more clearly, but it feels like it's still going to create some indecision for you at a moment that seems like you're going to have to make a directional choice. It's interesting. It's almost like finding out the truth is what causes the indecision. But the truth is necessary. This is something that's coming in because you need to know about it. You need to understand the truth about something. And there's almost this idea here that it's going to lead you to almost like a transition or a transformation, this truth. And it's coming because it's revealing where there may be a mask, where there may be something false, where there may be something that you think is one way, but it's actually something else. And so it's almost like you need to know about this, Taurus, and then you're going to be in this position where you have to sort of, now that you know this information or you've understood something as it really is, what will your decision be once that happens? And seeing the Yang card here, card 1, on the bottom of the deck in reverse, tells me that, you know, this could become a new path for you, but it's almost like there's a part of you that might be impulsive, or, you know, because of this indecision, you might make an impulsive action, or you might even have an impulsive behavior. So you really are being guided, when I see this Yang card in reverse, to think before you act, so that you don't end up in a situation where you have uncomfortable consequences and then you're sort of not sure what to do. So this is not meant to cause any fear or anything. It's more about sort of practicing temperance and thoughtfulness, thoughtful consideration before making a move. And so this is all happening to support you towards something. So it feels like that leg up card is showing up because it's like this is actually helping. Even though it might not seem at the time that it's helping you, this is receiving help. And it's the perfect time to receive that help. So it feels to me like you don't have to go about this process of deciding what to do and incorporating this new understanding of things, this truth. You don't have to do this by yourself. There is support out there for you. And I feel like it could even come in the form of asking for advice, going to see an advisor or a counselor or some kind of guide, like even a spiritual guide. Even perhaps this reading is serving as support for you. This is a time where when you have the right sort of allies in your corner, supporting you, advising you, telling you the truth, you can make miracles happen. So this really is a time to try to not be too impulsive. Try to be thoughtful. Try to consider consequences before you make a decision. And I think that's why we're seeing fork in the road in reverse, because it's a moment where you need pause and you might be feeling indecisive, unsure what to do. So you might need some support. You might need some advice. You might need some counsel. Ultimately, I feel like you just have to process this truth for what it is. And look, as I cut the deck, we see the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Cups. So that makes me feel like you're done sort of doing things that are difficult by yourself. Like, I feel like you're ready to get some help with this. And This could be the person that's meant to help you. You could be having a conversation here in the Two of Cups with someone who's going to guide you, advise you, or tell you the truth. I feel like perhaps there is something that you need to know the truth about or hear the truth about. That might be very pivotal for you in making this decision. And knowing which direction you feel like you're ready for, and understanding the true consequences of those choices. Interesting. Let's jump into the tarot. I'm looking at that leg up card. Look at what we see. We see here the Queen of Swords, who is seeking the truth and feels maybe a little bit like things are not as they appear with that Six of Pentacles. And then the Emperor here, who could be representative of someone who is a leader that's guiding you. It could be it could represent you sort of understanding that as you seek the truth to balance something out, to understand the truth more, it's up to you to lead the situation. But it's interesting. I almost feel like as you're seeking the truth, you're starting to understand that you don't have to do this by yourself, that things can be in balance when you have equal give and take with someone. When there's a relationship that's in balance, you can have balance in terms of the outcome that this leads to. And that it's interesting seeing the Emperor, because I feel like ultimately the choice is yours. Ultimately, it's up to you what you decide to do with this truth that you're seeking. You're looking for answers on something. I think you're looking for a new direction. You're looking for some answers to guide you moving forward, but it almost seems like right now you could be holding on too tightly with that Six of Pentacles in reverse, and you might be choosing that you don't want help, or you're unable to accept help. So this reading so far is guiding you to be open to receive assistance from others as you're seeking the truth on something, so that you can choose a direction moving forward without being too impulsive or missing something important. You know what I mean? Like the Six of Pentacles in reverse really gives me this idea that you're unable to accept help because for some reason there could be something in your narrative or in your story that says, I have to do things on my own. Like the Emperor. I have to be the only one that does this for myself. Like I can't, I'm sorry about all the coughing. I'm not sure what's going on here. Perhaps you have to speak something. Maybe you're going to be communicating something. But I feel like you're seeking the truth right now, but you might need some support. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to do things by yourself without support, or advice. Yeah, and look, there's the Hierophant in reverse. Another message of not really wanting to accept guidance or assistance. This is a very stubborn energy, Taurus, and the Hierophant is the card that represents Taurus in the tarot. So seeing the Hierophant in reverse says that look what's on the bottom. It's the Three of Pentacles in reverse. You're not wanting to work with others right now. And ironically, it's exactly what you need to do. You need some community efforts here. This doesn't have to be a one-person show. Although I feel like that's what you think right now, that you feel like the only source of truth right now is yourself. And you might be sort of rejecting assistance, rejecting advice, being defensive against advice, being too stubborn to look at things from a different perspective. Not wanting to collaborate, not wanting others involved in what you're seeking. It's interesting. I feel like you might gain something from being able to run through this with someone who's an expert. That's the other thing I'm sensing here, is that I'm not talking about sitting around. I mean, it could be sitting around having coffee with your friends and saying, I'm not sure about this, and sort of talking it out. But I almost feel like this is actually an expert that you're being guided to talk to. This isn't just your friends. This is someone who, maybe you have a friend who's an expert in the area that you're seeking truth on. But it feels like you're looking to speak to someone, or the reading is guiding you to speak to someone who is a professional, who's already an established leader in whatever it is that you're seeking. I feel like you need guidance. It could be legal guidance. It could be guidance in legal matters, or a matter that affects something outside of you personally, like a business, or some kind of contract is coming to mind. It feels like you're trying to sort something out without getting advice from someone who could support you and who already knows about this business or area that you're seeking guidance on. And as I look at the bottom of the deck, I see the Five of Pentacles. So this could be a big turning point, because I'm sort of looking at this fork in the road. This could be a big turning point for you, Taurus. You could either suffer some losses here. And again, it's not to evoke fear, but it's almost like you're in the middle right now. And if you don't ask for help or guidance where it could benefit you, you could find yourself sort of out in the cold, because you didn't realize that there's a church right behind you where you could go in and be warm instead of being out in the cold bleeding all over the snow, metaphorically, of course. But there is something here that could guide you, but you have to be willing to receive guidance and assistance. And that's really coming through strongly for you. And my throat, excuse me, it just keeps closing up. I want to cough. It's interesting. Now, when we look at the fork in the road to pull cards, we see the Hermit, Strength card, and the Page of Pentacles. So that tells me reflect on things, be courageous, and don't procrastinate. Really have a look at things from all the perspectives so that you don't end up with a consequence that you didn't anticipate. And have the courage and the strength to know that you can overcome any obstacle, even if it means that, you might need some guidance or some expert opinion, expert advice. You don't have to take the advice, but perhaps by seeking it out, there will be some sort of illumination for you. The Page of Pentacles tells me that it's time for you to take action on this, and that it's wise to be focused and determined right now on this area that you're seeking truth on. And that if you start to find that you're procrastinating or you're putting it off, that is not going to serve your highest good in this. This needs your attention and your focus right now. And it also needs some effort. Like the Page of Pentacles to me suggests that not only does it require your focus, but we also need to see some effort, because there is a new opportunity here. There is good news ahead. There is exploration that can lead to manifesting a new opportunity for you. This could involve a new career path. This is making plans a reality. So you must choose wisely here, which is why the Hermit is here. And I think why the Strength card is here, because you might need courage right now. If you're thinking, let's say, of changing careers and you're thinking, I want to start my own business. Maybe it's wise to go speak to someone who has established their own business to get some guidance on what helped them in the beginning stages. Or perhaps, it's important for you to really talk to someone about what the consequences are of your current business plan. Maybe you've already made a business plan and you're not sure, is it sound? Have I considered everything? I feel like it's that kind of reading where you're looking at doing things, but you're rejecting the idea of receiving assistance. You're too guarded. You're too defensive. We see the Seven of Wands here. In the context of this reading, that tells me that you're not looking around and finding allies. You're seeing people as competition. You're seeing people as you gotta defend yourself against them. I feel like you're a little defensive, Taurus, and you're not willing to consider the guidance from the experienced people around you that know about whatever it is that you're just beginning. You're just beginning something. And there are people around you, from what I can see in this reading, that are experts in what you're just beginning. And so it makes sense that if there are experts around you in what you're just beginning, perhaps they could help you if you're open to it. I don't think you are right now. I feel like you're sort of resistant to the idea of receiving any guidance or help from any source. And that could be part of this life lesson, is that we're better, sometimes we're better served when we seek out from experienced mentors. And again, it's not to say that you have to do exactly what they say, but there could be some nugget in there that helps you. And I see the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the clarifying deck. So I feel like things are moving, but you almost have to get out of your own way a little bit here. So when we clarify this first pile of cards, what do we see? The King of Swords and the Magician in reverse. Isn't that interesting? So you've got the Queen of Swords here, and now you see the King. And the Magician is in reverse, I think, because you're blocking yourself a little bit here by not being open to receive, period. If you're defensive and blocked, you're not receiving. It's not selective. It almost feels like it's a what are those big doors on a castle? It's either down and allowing things to come in, or it's up and it's the drawbridge. Is that what it's called? The drawbridge? Your drawbridge is down. Up. Sorry, it's up. It's not letting anything pass right now. It's just whatever's inside the castle, and that's that. And that's creating something that feels rigid and blocked instead of flexible and strategic, like the King of Swords. If you let the drawbridge down, then certain goods and services can enter the castle. And if you use that analogy, then you can think of things as being sort of strategic of what you let in and what you don't let in. The drawbridge can go up and down. It doesn't have to be in one position locked. And that's what it feels like. It feels like you've locked the gate so that nothing can pass through, and you're just dealing with whatever's in the castle. But there's something of value around you on the outside, and I feel like if you let it in, you will gain the value of what that is. But you have to choose that. Don't be impulsive here. Yeah, we're seeing the Page of Wands and the Five of Swords coming to clarify that Hierophant. So it tells me that when you're trying to sort of have conversations, it feels defeating. And I feel like there's a part of you that actually gets a little bit frustrated if someone doesn't understand what you're trying to say right away. I feel like you feel defensive and frustrated, and that's enough for you to just walk away from this. Instead, I feel like use that energy of the Page of Wands here, which is very exploring. It's very enthusiastic. It is interested in creative beginnings and newfound inspiration, right? This idea of trying new things and giving yourself permission to brainstorm, to be a dreamer, to allow inspiration to come into the castle, right? The Page of Wands, I would imagine his castle has a drawbridge that is down so that people can enter and he can explore and see, ooh, what have you brought me today? What gifts and services do you offer me? What can I learn from you? Instead of these conversations like the Five of Swords, where where things feel like no one's open to the ideas of the other people on this beach. You know what I mean? Whereas the Page of Wands is really curious and very interested in, what's your idea about this? And what's your idea about this? Doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to take those ideas and replicate them exactly as they were pronounced, but there might be some nuggets in there that you can really use to your advantage in whatever it is that you're working on here. Yeah. Bottom of the deck is the King of Cups, or the Knight of Cups. My friends, be open. Open, open, open. You have to open up a little bit here, Taurus. That's the guidance you're receiving. It's up to you, but yeah, there's the World. So you're really being guided here to integrate all of your experience as you're about to have a new beginning. You have 2 pages here. You've got that Yang card here. We see this energy of you sort of stepping into a truth, understanding things in a different way, and then making choices based on that. And that leads to a new beginning. Integrating all of that wisdom here in the Hermit card. Realizing your strengths and then going for it, going for this new opportunity. The guidance really is encouraging you to not procrastinate and to really reflect on things so that you don't take a decision and then have consequences that you didn't foresee or anticipate. I mean, that can always happen. We're seeing the Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck here. So again, the truth is what's most important. Your need to have this solid understanding of the truth as you're seeking this new direction. And I think that there are people that can support you here. Let's see here. To close your reading, let's have a look and see which oracle card you'll receive. It could help guide us in understanding where the blocks are, where the impulsivity lies, and how to sort of move past it. What is the ultimate sort of guidance here for Taurus when it comes to this situation? That's so interesting. You got the Purity card. And I feel like, you know, I just sort of going through the deck to see what cards I notice. Interesting. Authenticity is coming through, this idea of validation and the past energies sort of, yeah, there's validation coming through again. I feel like it's not that you're seeking validation. You can offer yourself this validation. I feel like it's that you're blocked to be open, to open up, to be your pure, authentic self outwardly. I feel like that is where you're feeling any kind of resistance. It's coming from this place where it's like, if you were to be authentically yourself and to be open and to be vulnerable, that is, it's a very pure, innocent sort of moment where you're not judging yourself and you're just being. And I feel like right now, by staying in that sort of vibration, you will navigate from one experience to the next without feeling a lot of emotional baggage. But you have to be willing to sort of surrender that. Like, a question to ask yourself this week is, am I allowing myself to be present without judgment? And can I overcome past wounds to feel pure in this moment? Are you jumping to conclusions and not allowing the flow of energy, right? Are you not allowing the flow of energetic information to give you all the necessary information that you seek before you make a choice? So this is telling you, put your guard down. This is saying lower that drawbridge on the castle and get excited, like the Page of Wands. It's almost, this Purity card is almost like feeling that childlike feeling again, where we feel so innocent and we're not judging ourselves or anything else. We're just open and we're exploring and seeing what fits, what resonates, and what doesn't fit, and what doesn't resonate, you don't have to take. But in order to sort of see that whole spectrum that we see in the World card, you have to at least be open to receive what you're seeking. And that is where I'm going to leave it for you, Taurus. Very interesting reading here. Being open to receive what you're seeking. That is the key. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I really hope it's been helpful and resonated for you. If it has, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. I appreciate your support so much on the channel. And if you're interested in a personal reading, you can find the link for that in the description below. As always, I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care.